Hey everybody, Paul Turner here from thediscipleproject.net and Paul Turner Speaks. And today, before we get started here, we're going to talk about teaching middle school and high school together. Most of us don't have the luxury to do that, and we're going to talk about maybe some principles that may help you if you're in that situation. But first, something I found out this past week that I didn't know was I am listed in some sort of list on the internet as number 23 in the top 40 blogs to watch in 2019. So I just wanted to put that out there and thank all of you for those of you that visit. There's links down below to all those kind of good things that you can check it out for yourself. But I'm super stoked about that and for what will happen this coming year. Hopefully people do a lot of reading in 2019. They'll come over to the blog and read some articles over there. Many of us don't have the luxury of separating our middle school and high school, let alone, midweek or something like that. Sunday morning, super difficult because we don't have, and that's all based on size, right? Size of your church, size of your youth ministry, number of volunteers you have, things like that, or number of qualified volunteers you have that want to teach middle school. And so a lot of times that group is together. That was my case usually on Sunday mornings. On Wednesday nights, I had more opportunities to be able to do separating into some smaller groups because we had a larger crowd, more middle school, things like that. But if you're stuck in that situation when you're dealing with, a smaller group and you're not able to because you have maybe one, kid home from college and 4 middle school students and 2 high school students, and you are a small group. You can't separate in a small group. So what can you do then to kind of hit all the levels, if you will, within one scenario? Well, especially with middle school students, the challenge is, we have, in regarding that is we say, well, first of all, middle schoolers are immature, right? But that's not their fault. They're middle school students. That's just their biology. They're squirrely. There's a lot of things. But let me give you 4 things that I try to do with them in regards to when they're mixed in with another group. Number one is I try to keep their eyes busy, okay? I try to use as many visuals as possible. Now, whether that's showing video clips or using physical items to talk with, I try to make sure that I have something physical there. Maybe it's a ball that I'm tossing around, using to engage that way, something like that, to where, if you're holding the ball, you're going to go ahead and talk. It's your turn to talk kind of thing. So I try to keep their eyes busy with illustrations, with video clips, with pictures, anything that I can use to be able to go ahead and focus their eyes on what I'm teaching versus on each other. The second thing is I try to keep their hands busy. Once again, it goes back to maybe throwing that ball around, right? Of course, that's trouble anyway because they're going to throw it at somebody really hard and probably being some middle school girl right in the head with it. But nonetheless, give it a shot anyway. But I try to keep their hands busy in regards to taking notes, right? If I give them a sheet of paper with fill in the blank kind of thing, so they know where the lesson's going, they know that I'm not just droning on for the next 20 minutes about something, that there's, maybe give them journals to work with and say, look, listen, you don't have to write everything I'm saying. Write down some key thoughts that I'm talking about. The rest of the time, you can just doodle, right? This is your notebook. You can kind of doodle in that. Other things that I try to do is maybe keep, I say a craft because that sounds very elementary, but even a craft that you're saying, look, we're going to make something, we're going to do something together. We maybe try to keep, do something where there's more activity in regards to team building or teamwork, where they have to do something. Maybe it's solving a puzzle. Maybe it's doing something like that that everybody can do and engage in, but keeping their hands busy keeps their hands off of one another. The third thing is I try to keep their minds busy, right? I try to speak in a way that's not dry or didactic. I try to use as many stories, illustrations, things that are going to build imagery inside their mind that's going to keep them mentally focused on what I'm talking about. And the fourth thing I try to do is I try to keep their mouths busy, right? Now, they're going to talk no matter what. At least if I try to ask interesting, open-ended questions that's going to help them jump into the conversation somewhere, then I can do that by asking open-ended questions, interesting questions, and then allowing them opportunity to kind of, formulate their own questions and let them kind of feed into the discussion. This is something everybody can do as a middle school student. If I try to provide the opportunity for them to do that and not try to, treat them like children. But guys, I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of the community here. If this is your first time here, thanks for checking it out. I appreciate you guys being a part. I would love for you to be a part of this community on a regular basis by simply clicking the subscribe button down below or somewhere here around my head. And also feel free to leave some comments. What are some things that you're doing with your students that would benefit somebody else in this community? What are some strategies that you've used when you have a mixed group of kids that helps keep them all engaged? I would love to hear, and especially a lot of people in the community would love to hear from you as well. And finally, if you'll just hit that thumbs up button, that tells me you like the video and you want more of them. And until next time, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everybody.